Ahila, stage is yours. The mic is just there, and if you are ready, so thank you very much, everyone.
Here you go. Give me a second to get up here. It's always very intimidating when you are the final speaker, because you've got so many people who have come ahead of you. And I loved what everybody has said. It's very insightful. Dato', it was very insightful. Yuan is also very insightful. I'm very new to this whole board experience. I'm an architect by training, and my life has always been the built environment. I was in property development for a while. I saw Elizabeth Lee earlier, my ex-colleague, and I've worked with her in Sunway Property for a good chunk of my life. And I can tell you, when I started making this journey to be on a board, I have to thank Khazanah. I know they got a lot of grief. I have to thank Khazanah because I'm in Think City, which is a subsidiary of Khazanah, and my boss was wonderful about it. And he said, yes, go ahead and do it. I will support you. So I do give a shout out to the men in my life who have made this happen. And for those of you who have got kids, daughters, who are going to be taking this journey, I'd like to say that, yes, I agree with YB Senator that it's important to figure out what they're going to study. Sustainability is in the forefront, but the single most important decision that they will make in their life is who they marry. That is the single most, and I'm very lucky. Too bad he's not here to hear this, but I have a friend in the audience taking a video right now to send to him, I'm sure. So I'll get brownie points from him for that. But I'm telling you, that is the one single decision that you make in your life as women, and that's the most important thing, because you will not be able to do any of this without their support. So I think that is, it's women, fantastic, they've helped me in my journey, absolutely, but shout out to the men who have helped me in my journey. So with that, too bad YB Senator is not around, because he said it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I actually disagree. For me, it was a climb. It was tough. It was a climb. I was told that every intersection, you don't have visibility, right? And that's fair. That's fair. I don't have visibility. So that was the whole situation of how do you build visibility. Dato', you're right. LinkedIn was a friend. And I tell you what else was a friend. The pandemic. The pandemic was a friend. And why do I say this? I'm based in Penang. One of the things that they kept telling me is, you actually can't be on a board because you're in Penang. If you want to be on a board, you have to be in KL. That's the only way to go about it. And thankfully, the pandemic turned that around. So if you're going to only look at candidates, the pool of candidates that are in Klang Valley, I think that you're shortchanging yourself, right? Try to be understanding. There are candidates that are in other parts. So let me give you an example of the board that I'm sitting on right now, Velesto Energy. Most of the members of the board are not even in the country, right? And it works. It works because it can. The pandemic has taught us that it can work. So to the new members of the Cohort 8, don't let people tell you what you can't be. I think that's key, right? You can be wherever you want to be, as long as you make the effort to have face-to-face once in a way. And to the people who are on nomination committees, please remember that a value of a person is not where they're located at all. It is what they bring to the table. So let me go to the next slide. With that, I take you to value proposition. What is the value proposition that you bring to the board? And that is important because, again, with the matrix, right, you got the matrix where they tell you exactly like what Yuan said. I have this, I don't have this. I didn't fall into ESG. I've been doing it for a long time. I was a GBI facilitator, Green Building Index, for those of you in the know, in 2009, when sustainability was a dirty word, right? I was one of the first cohorts to become a facilitator. And I was lucky enough that after that I went into property development. I was in Sunway Property, and Sunway is in the forefront, pushing the agenda when it comes to sustainability. So I was very lucky in that sense. And I didn't just fall into ESG, it's been part of my journey. So that's where you need to look at your value proposition. It cannot be outside of what you already know, because that is building a completely new skill set that you have no time for. But build on what you already have. If you are a lawyer, work with that. If you're in finance, work with that. Don't try to be something you're not, because it will show, because you will not have the skill sets required, and it will show through. And that is where it's very important. Your board is going to look at all of this. Your value proposition needs to be tight. Next, in property, you always say one thing. When it comes to buying property, location, location, location. When it comes to boards, networking, networking, networking. That's what you need to do. The pandemic has not been friendly to everybody, but now is the time. Go out there and make sure that everybody knows you. Do things that are outside your comfort zone. If you're asked to speak in an event, speak in an event. Go outside of your comfort zone. I think that is really, really important. And I think Dato has mentioned it many times before. LinkedIn. It is going to help you. Be active on it. I think that ICDM has run some courses on how to do branding in terms of online branding. I think those are very helpful, and every one of us should attend them, men or women. Finally, tenacity. And what do I mean by tenacity? I don't mean perseverance, right? I mean tenacity. Because when you're tenacious, if you've done something that you've fallen off the rung, you change course, you're agile, you adapt. That's what you need. And tenacity, please don't make the mistake in thinking that tenacity is by yourself. That's not how it works. You need everybody around you. I had wonderful mentors. Chainyo is sitting right there. I had Rowena, another mentor, wonderful women who were in my mentoring me. But I also had friends who helped me when I fell, right? Who helped me when you're like, oh, man, I can't do it from Penang. I have to choose between my family or board position, right? So you have people who say, no, you don't have to. Just keep at it. And that's where you need your networking. And you need the men in your family. No matter what, don't let that. I cannot stress how important it is, the men in your family, right? And essentially, that's where you don't have to make a choice between your family and what you want to do in your career. So at the end of the day, when I look at Cohort 8, it's going to be a wonderful ride, absolutely right. It's going to be a challenging ride. But if you are tenacious about it, you will get that. That 30% is going to be a no-brainer for most companies, and you will get that. And with that, I'd like to thank you for the time that you have given me. Thank you.